So we're going to show you how to adjust your Fast Ace front fork suspension. Using the dial on the top, you can turn this either to the left for slower compression or to the right for faster compression. Now you're going to have to remove your handlebars first to be able to access these screws, and there's one on either side of the fork. You want to make sure that you've adjusted it to the same level on each fork. And the best way to do that is to turn it all the way, one way, till it doesn't turn anymore. And then when you're going back, count the number of clicks. You'll be able to feel those clicks as you go through. 1, 2, 3. Now there's an adjuster on the bottom of the fork leg as well. I've got this fork leg out right now for ease of showing you in this video. You're going to actually have to crawl under your bike to be able to access this. There's a rubber cap here, and just using a screwdriver you'll be able to pry out the rubber cap and take it off to access the screw down below. Now this is actually going to dial in the compression of the fork. So going one way or another, you'll actually feel it move to either somewhat stiffer suspension versus lighter suspension. So going all the way clockwise, I'm going to feel even stiffer suspension. And going counterclockwise, I'll feel lighter suspension. When I've dialed the fork leg all the way towards the slow setting on the rebound, you'll notice that the leg responds and comes back up slowly. Versus if I dial it all the way towards fast, it comes up quicker. Now you want to dial this in for the perfect setting and the feeling for yourself and what you like your fork to feel like. Now to adjust the back suspension or the rear suspension on your Voodoo or Ghost, there's a number of different settings in your Fast Ace suspension at the rear. Your bike comes with a coilover shock, and it is an air shock as well. So first, there's an air cap here where you can unscrew this, and using a shock pump, please, you don't attach this to a bike pump, but using a shock pump, you can attach a shock pump to this and dial up or down the air pressure depending on the weight of the rider or riders if you're riding often with a passenger. This will add a lot more compression or reduce the compression depending on whether you're adding air or reducing air in there. Again, this is personal feel, so you can adjust this to make sure that you're feeling the compression that you want. You can also add some preload to the spring. Now you would actually have to take this shock out of here. Using a shock wrench at the top, you can dial down the preload of the spring to add compression to the spring to stiffen the rear. Out of the factory here, we've got it dialed in fairly soft, but you can, if you're a heavier rider or you're riding often with a passenger, you may want to take this out and dial that down. Finally, there's a dial down below here, and from the back of the bike facing forward, where I'm sitting right now, if I'm dialing this towards myself, I'm making it a faster rebound, or if I'm dialing it away from myself right now, it's a slower rebound. You'll see on the dial there's an S and an F, and it's similar to the front fork. It just changes the speed, the rebound speed that this comes in and out to dial in the suspension to your own feeling.